Hello. Today I wanted to show you a little bit about the Go Button app. Early my last video that I had you guys watch, I had you guys watch some tutorials made by somebody else for QLab, and I wanted to show you their iPad version. It's not really QLab, it's called Go Button. It was originally, I believe, created by somebody else, and I think they purchased it and have made it their own. It is free and has certain functionality, and then I think if you want more shows and things like that, if you purchase it, the Pro version is $99. Now, why am I even showing you this expensive an app? Is because it really is a great solution for how to mobily take sound on the road for a show. Now, if you're particularly doing something that's touring, I think this is a perfect option. This could be even a great easy option for something like a dance concert or even a full show if it was simple enough. And actually, I mean, it really does do a lot. It can do, I say simple, but it really can be complex if it wants to be. All right, so let me go ahead and click on the Go Button app here. Now, this is, obviously, this is on my iPad Pro, so it looks just a little bigger than it normally would. It's pretty straightforward. Here are previous shows that you can do. If you want to add a new show, you simply click the New button and hit New Show. You can give it a name, and then you are good to go. Okay, so the interface is pretty straightforward. I did end up reading the manual just to figure a few things out, but for the most part, it's pretty easy to figure out. Unlike QLab, it only has one type of cue, but you can make that cue do a whole bunch of different things that you may not be able to normally do, say in QLab. So if you just want to add a cue, okay. You have a bunch of documents here that you can add a bunch in. Now, I've added a bunch in from my, and I'm going to show you how to add some stuff in here in a minute from my computer. And then it's also got the stuff from my library as well. Just so this doesn't get taken down, I'm not going to do the Hamilton one. So let's just do, I'm going to use one that came with it, which is the magic flute. And then I hit add one, okay, and I've got a cue here. Now when this comes up, you've got a couple things. First thing you do is you can show fades. So if you want to add a little bit more of a fade at the beginning, or actually that was at the end, or fade at the end, you can do that in here, and you can preview it if you want. Sorry, turn it down a little bit. Okay, so that's just the preview of that cue. You've got a lot of other things in here. You can put a pre-wait in here. You can stop all others if you want. So when this one starts, it can stop all others. And the cool thing is, if you'll notice here, you can actually, in the middle, you can fade out when the others stop. So this is what happens when the cue starts. You can duck all others. Now, I wasn't quite sure what this meant. This is something sort of new for me thinking. But you can actually reduce the volume of the others while this cue is going on. So if you need a cue that just kind of ducks everything out or lowers it down for a minute, this is actually a thing that you can add in there. And that's going to be at, like, you can set it at 50%. You can set it at whatever. I've been setting them at 90, to be honest, and they haven't been taking them down that much. You can do a fade in and fade out time as well. If you want to make it a loop, you can make it a loop. And then you can put a fade out time in here as well. So currently my fade out time is at half a second. Okay, so when you're all done, you hit save. Okay, and now we hit done, and then our first cue is ready to go. Okay. Now, if I did want to set, I can't actually set it up to stop and fade out when I hit the go button again. So to do that, I go into edit, and I can edit this one here, and I can do that actually down here through these. So we just had it set up to auto stop when it was, actually I don't think we had anything set up. So this time I'm going to set up so it actually fades out when it's done. And I'm going to go ahead, hit done again. I'm going to hit play and hit go. So now you'll notice the big button is, the next thing that's going to happen is it's going to fade out one. It'll fade it out in that time that we've set if you want to. Okay, so those are all pretty straightforward. Let me show you some of the things. I'm going to go back to that one I was working on earlier, and just to show you some things I'm not going to play. Well, I think I will play the polka. We'll just, hopefully we won't get taken down. I was talking about earlier This is actually my duck cue. Let me show you what that looks like. This was just to take the sound down for a little bit. Okay, and let me actually call this what it is, which is the duck cue. Okay, so I've got it set up so that when I hit play, it's going to duck all the other cues at 90%. It's only going to last 4 seconds, and then it's all going to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to hit done. I'm going to hit play. And then once I hit the third, it's going to only duck it down for 4 seconds. But what if I want that cue to stop? I messed up. I should have waited a little while longer. I'm going to pause. Okay, so what this cue does, this cue is actually set up to stop everything. So it's set up to edit, stop cue, click this. Now this one's set up to stop all others. Okay, now the biggest difference is I didn't choose a media file. If this media file here is empty, then it's gonna stop the cue. It's not gonna let it go on. All right. The other thing I wanted to show you real quick was just an auto follow. I did some thunder crashes here, and all I did was, if I scroll down here, I gave it, just have to look for the auto follow. Duck others, cue, pre-wait, start time. Oh, it's just down here at the bottom. You click auto follow next, boop, and then you give it an auto follow time. Am I on the right one? Auto follow next, and we're going to do that for 1 second. And we're going to save that, and we're going to go back to done. And now, if I start here, once this goes, you can see there it says it's going to auto follow in 1 second, 1001, and it follows. Okay, so it's got both of those. Okay, now one of the other things that I really like about this program is if you need a rim shot in the middle, it's got these hotkeys that are really, really cool. I just added that one in. What I did learn is, like, click it once and it plays it. If you long click it, it will fade it out for you. Okay, and then also too, one of the other things that I found kind of handy was you can actually make a hotkey that will duck all the cues or stop all the cues. Now I just happen to set that one to duck. But if I re-click it, all the sounds should come back up to full, but it looks like that thunder was a little different. Couple other things, and then I'll let you go. I'm going to pause this. If we go up here, let me go up here to stop, edit. Go on the first one and edit. If we look, we can actually choose when we want to start or stop the piece. Okay, and again, if we show the fades, that's where we can go in there and whoops, where we can actually set. I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong. Show fades. There we go. You can actually get in there and change how long that fade is. Last thing I'll show you before I let you go, actually two things. First is over here in the menu, the user manual was amazing. It sends you to a website with the manual. Went through it about 20 minutes and I had figured a whole bunch of this stuff out. One of the other things I wanted to show you was how to actually get cues into, or get sounds into. The first way is you can airdrop things in if you want, which if you're an Apple person, that's pretty straightforward. One of the things you can do is if you hit this and then browse, okay, you can actually, if you hit browse enough, it'll show you can choose iCloud or Google Drive or Dropbox, and you can pull things in. The iCloud Drive is actually a pretty easy way. You can also drag and drop in, believe it or not. Let me just hit cancel here so that goes away. You do that by, if you, like I've got my Files app open here. I'm going to drag it over here to the side. But I can actually just drag in, let's take Thunder, I don't think 17's in there yet. Hold it down a little bit. Oops. Sorry, having a little trouble here. Done. And I can just drag it in, and it will now show up in my cues. If I need, let me pull this over just a little bit, and let's Edit. Let's add a cue, and that was Thunderclap 17. It's there now. So now I can add that Thunderclap 17 in there quite easily. All right, that's all I'm going to show you today. Have a good evening.